lot of people in our survey said that they get their information about different events from their college. And what outlets do you get your information from, BW or Ashland?
The campus bulletin.
The campus bulletin.
Yeah, I actually read it every day. I mean,
I at least scroll through it
Yeah.
and like if there's something that piques my
Yeah.
interest, I love how you can click on it now.
I know, I use that, I like that.
I don't have to scroll.
Do you have anything like that at Ashland?
Like, I like ashland.edu, we have like this calendar thing, so like it tells you everything, but it's more like sports, so not really anything other than campus stuff.
And like with us having such a big theater program here, like I think there is a big interest like on the BW campus and the location of us to the Playhouse. That, you know, I think a lot of people would go if they realize that, you know, they don't have to spend the $75 to get the good seat there.
Yeah, I feel like that's how I feel with a lot of the stuff we have here in Cleveland, just everything, I mean, they need to publicize it more at the college.
And it, like, they need maybe a shuttle too, like, you know, Playhouse could have some type of shuttle service that, you know, you could call them when you wanna go, so they don't have to keep just shuttling for nothing, but, like, I don't have a car on campus, and I haven't, so there's really no way to get down there, even if I wanna see something, like, I can't get down there, so I don't go.
Or even just have a shuttle just to take you downtown. And then,
Yeah.
So, 'cause I mean, that's a good marketing thing that the school has, is, oh, we're 10 minutes away from Cleveland. And
But
they
then
start
there's no way to
utilizing.
get there.
Yeah, and they start utilizing it.
Do you, sorry, but would it encourage you if the school or Playhouse Square had set up something that would, that brought groups together of people and like a shuttle and transport? Is that more enticing to you that?
I mean, I love going to theater events and stuff. I go to almost everyone that's on the campus here just because I can get to the campus events, but I can't get to anything down at Playhouse. And I went a lot when I was in high school, but I haven't been able to go as much now because I just don't have any way to get there, or trying to connect with a friend that's also free to get you there or that wants to go. So that's just one of the problems for me.
So if a college were to set up some sort of group or something that liked going to performances or just advertised for one specific performance and provided transportation and you just had to pay for your ticket, is that something that you think college students would be interested in doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, especially you saw the Wicked line, like when they had the Wicked and they provided the transportation and it was the cheaper ticket. I went early and yet I still couldn't get a ticket for it.
Yeah, like groups like Night on the Town and CEP,
Yeah,
when they do things like that, they provide transportation and cheap tickets.
there's such a demand for it.
So we definitely have those opportunities at BW. Does Ashland do stuff like that? Do you know? I mean, in general, is that something
Like,
popular?
they're all about sports, but they're really bad at them. But, like, I don't really know about our theater, like, they don't really, promote it, I guess. Like, I've never heard of any plays going on, nothing, so I would say maybe yes for the people who do like it, but you don't really know if anybody likes it, cause they don't really advertise anything. So I'm not really sure.
How do you prefer attending a live performance? Do you prefer it like with a lot of people, or do you like going with one other person, or maybe even like going by yourself?
I mean, not really by myself. I'll usually go in a small group. Like when I've gone in a small group, maybe me, someone else, couple others. But the larger groups are harder because if you all try and sit together, and it just creates more of a problem to try and get all the seats.
I mean, I wouldn't wanna go by myself. I'd rather go with one other person or like a really big group. I don't know, can't really decide which I'd rather do, but I wouldn't wanna go by myself, no.
Yeah, I agree.
And so if you guys were just thinking randomly, like if, say, a Saturday night you have nothing to do, would you ever just go to one of your buddies, one of your friends, whatever, and said, hey, why don't we just go to Playhouse Square tonight? Is that something that,
Especially if you're aware of like the smart
smart
seats and
seats.
like when it's something
Yeah.
that's not as expensive.
I mean, I think I probably would, because like my friend and I were just trying to figure out something to do the other night, but it's like, I don't know what's even happening at Playhouse right now with the
Yeah.
plays. So I don't know what to even look for, and then, you know, we could've driven that time, but if I don't know what's happening, then I don't really think of that.
It also depends on the friend, 'cause a lot of my friends don't know what, like, that I like plays or anything, and when they hear that, they're like, no, you don't. And I'm like, yes, I do, like, they get really weirded out, so I have very few friends who like plays, so it would just depend on who's available.
One of the interesting things that we came across in the survey, was that for a lot of people, one thing that prevented them from attending live performances was, they didn't have anybody to attend with. So what I'm getting from that, you wouldn't go alone, so if you had no one to go with, like, going to a play by yourself is just out of the question, or going to a live performance.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've done that at BW, when my friends haven't gone, like, I'm going to rent here by myself, because I didn't coordinate with anyone else, and I'm like, well, I'm not missing it so if it's something I wanna go to, like, I might go by myself if I really wanted to go and didn't wanna miss it.
Yeah, I mean, like a BW event, yeah, I'd probably be more willing to go by myself and probably run into people I know. But I'm not gonna go all the way downtown by myself and just sit by myself.
Yeah.
I'd go by myself for Cleveland, you don't wanna be by yourself, so that would be my choice.
An interesting thing that Aaron and I were discussing was, we wanna get from you, what is your perception of attending a performance, like at a venue such as Playhouse Square? Is it something that's very formal and, you plan ahead, or do you see it as, can you see it as just a casual night out?
I don't see it as casual. I see it as more of a formal planning a couple weeks, months ahead of time, and like that kind of thing. I don't see it as just, hey, let's go. I don't really picture it like that.
Yeah.
Especially buying the tickets ahead of time, you know, like, you need to get a ticket, you can't make it last minute decision.
Yeah, there isn't many things I just go and buy a ticket of that day and go.
I'd like to plan dinner before or after, depending on the time, like, and then, you don't need to like get in a suit and tie, but also you're not gonna wear like short shorts and a tank top. So, it takes at least a good, for me, a week or two, get a restaurant and whatnot, parking.
so then with this Smart Seats program that they have for $10, that is geared more towards the kind of spontaneous, cause it's not guaranteed how many seats they have, because it's just whatever they haven't sold out of. So if there was a way that we were able to market the Smart Seats as more of a spontaneous, hey, are you bored, like, drive downtown, get a couple tickets, whatever, is that, like, do you think that perception could change, where it's not something that you have to plan a month in advance?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the biggest drawback of people going downtown in general, just driving themselves, is parking. You know, and that's, you know, I'm like, oh, let's go downtown, and people are like, it's so like driving down there and then parking and all that.
Right.
I think that's a pretty big drawback.
Well, because you could almost spend the same on parking that you're spending on the ticket.
Yeah.